Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of Hoppets. Today checking out some more Dutch craft beer that I brought back with me from my vacation this summer, where I, amongst other places, was in Amsterdam. And yeah, it was awesome. And I brought back a few different beers to check out. You already saw the Valhalla beers, but this one is from the Kromme Haring. I tried one of their beers when I was there, which was their Helles, which was fairly good. And I love that they do a very big mix of beer types. They do a lot of modern stuff, but they also do classic stuff like this one, which is Marrella, which is their interpretation of a Märzen. So this is from the Cambrian series, which apparently is inspired by the evolution of the planet and the Cambrian explosion, which is something about marine life. That's why they have all these marine bugs and whatnot on the label. I think a lot of their artwork is very fish oriented, but this is for like one-offs and special limited releases and collabs and whatnot. The series of beer, and apparently the guys at the Kromme Haring went to Bamberg last year and they experienced the whole smoke beer scene, and they got inspired to do one of their own when they came home, and this is it. So yeah, this will be really fun. I love Rauchbier, you guys know. I'm a massive fan of Rauchbier, and my favorite is Schlenkerla. I think they make the best. They're also the most intense Rauchbiers. Spezial is also really good. It's but a bit more balanced. But when I drink Rauchbier, I prefer them to be smack in your face. I'm guessing this one could be inspired by Schlenkerla because it's a Märzen, but Spezial's Rauchbier looks a bit more like this. So it's a nice kind of like copper, rust orange type color. Lightly hazy. Yeah, it looks a lot like the Spezial, as far as I remember. You know, the Schlenkerla's Märzen is quite a lot darker than this. It's actually really dark for a Märzen. But yeah, it looks really nice. It's got a poured out slightly beige head. Let's check out the aroma on this one. Yep, smells really good. It's very smoky, huge bready Munich malt character. It's not like massive on smoke, but it's kind of like that Spezial style. It's soft, and there's a decent amount of hops in there too. I think there's definitely some bitter, peppery hops. So it's made with Tettnang and Hercules hops. So that's probably why I'm getting a little bit of spiciness. Tettnang is usually spicy, and then they use smoked malt. I'm getting beechwood smoked malt, Munich malt, Melanoidin, and Carafa. So it smells very nice. It's actually. So we do a Rauchbier where I work as well, and it's actually smells a bit similar to that one. Just that one is even more hoppy than this one. The more I'm smelling it though, the more the smoke fades, and the more I'm getting just like kind of Märzen, like darker Märzen-esque aromas of like toasty breadiness and like freshly baked bread. Like notes of toffee too, touches of toffee. Yeah, and then you get that campfire note there on the end as well, like campfire, slightly meaty smokiness. It's not like full on with smoke, so I think it's a good introductory kind of smoke beer as well. And it's actually quite strong. It's 6.3%, which is very strong for like a Märzen. I think Schlenkerla is it 5.5 or is it 5? I can't remember. But it smells pretty good. Let's give it a taste, guys. Cheers. Quite soft on the smoke. Surprisingly dry as well. I actually expected much more body for it being 6.3%. It's very dry and bitter. Not like crazily bitter, but it has like a pretty big bitterness. I wonder, so what's fun brewing with smoked malt? Like, it's can be a bit all over the place. Like, depending on how fresh you get the malt. The fresher, the more smoke character. And it's very different from brewery to brewery how much they use. Like the smoke malt usually takes place as a base malt. So it's like, this tastes around like 30 or 40, I'd imagine. Because it's not like heavily smoky, but it's also from, I think it's from January this year. So it's 8 months old. So that could be why. Like, smoke has an interesting thing in beer that it like goes waves, like really intense fresh and then subdued. It's subdued a bit and then comes back and whatnot. And here it's like a light to medium level. Because I do prefer a bit more smokiness. huge Munich malt profile though, like really nice, doughy, and also like freshly baked bready flavor. Maybe not so much doughy, even more freshly baked bread. There's some of that doughiness, but like almost like when you just take a freshly baked bread outside, so you get like a lot of that crusty outside, and then like almost like when the center is still a bit like almost mushy, kind of like that. There's a touch of toffee. There's a touch of red apple as well. Otherwise, really clean. Nice peppery bite from Tettnang. The bitterness doesn't seem as crazy and over the top as I'm sipping on it. Quite dry on the aftertaste with a little bit of malt sweetness. Like just a little bit of like a sweet, again, like a toffee malt thing. It's a decent Rauchbier. I think, like for its ABV, I expected a bit more like full and slick mouthfeel and not so bitter. But also, if you think of Steenkana's Märzen, I think that's actually around 30 IBU, so it's a bit more bitter. And Specials, I can't remember how bitter that is. But it's definitely in the vein of Special, where it's like a soft smoke profile and kind of like this, you know, like more bready, freshly baked bread, toasty, slightly toffee-like character. And this one has that. There's a bit of nuttiness too. There's that toffee. There's also, yeah, crusty, like toasted bread. It's pretty good. It's definitely good. And it's clean. It's well-brewed lager. There's like no off flavors or anything. The rest, like all of my critique points, is just personal preference and nitpicking. It's a very well-made beer. I just want more smoke and expect more for its ABV. But it's decent. It's nice beer. It is pretty good. 85, I think. I mean, I'd pick this up again, but if I saw this on the shelf and I saw a Steenkana on, you know, next to it, I'd go for the Steenkana. But I think it's a good introduction to Rauchbier for people because it's not too over the top. It seems like that's the way a lot of craft brewers go when they make these. They either do them like full on, or they do like fun interpretations, or they do like this. And this is what I've seen most often. Like when people have done these, it's been these more delicate smoke flavors. And I think it's because it's just it's like a Marmite type beer. It's like either you love it or you hate it. A lot of people I know that has tried like Rauchbiers, and you know, both beer geeks and not, they often shy away from it because they're like, oh, that's so weird. It tastes like bacon and sausage. But I think 85 is a good grade. It's a pretty nice Rauchbier. There's nothing wrong with it. I just want more like intensity of smoke, personally. So nice stuff. If you guys had a chance to try the Kromme Haring Marrella smoked Märzen, let me know what you thought of it. This was tasty stuff. If you guys had other Kromme Haring beers that you think I should try, let me know. Because I've only had two. They're hitters in this. So if you guys did that, let me know. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I'm going to say cheers and some Rauchbier. And see you guys in another beer review.